Welcome to the Anagama Kiln here on the campus of the University of Montevallo. I'm Tamika McCoy.
And I'm Megan Collins. Today we'll watch as Dr. Meyer and his crew show us some fire tricks.
We'll also take a look back at what has happened during the firing so far, and we'll show some special pieces from inside the kiln. We're here with Dr. Meyer. Dr. Meyer, tell us what we can expect to see today.
Well, today we've been at temperature for about 2 days, which is great, and that allows us to do some things that we haven't had a chance to do yet. We're going to put charcoal on some pieces in the firebox, and I'll show you what effects that is. I have a piece that we did last time that way, so I'll show you what we're trying to achieve. We're going to do that. We're going to push some pieces off of shelves into the coal bed to create special effects that we like. We're going to pull some rings out of the kiln, see how the melt is, and I don't know, whatever all else we can do in the time that we have.
Okay. Remember, you can email us during the show at any time at kilncast@montevallo.edu.
We have our first piece of viewer mail today. Sarah Wiggins from here in Montevallo would like to know how much wood it takes to fire the kiln and how often you have to add the pieces to the fire.
Although the wise guy response would be too much wood. You probably, if you were with us in the beginning, you saw how much wood was stacked around, and we've probably been through about 11 cords. One cord is 4 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet. We've been through 11 of those up to this point, probably, just to estimate. We'll probably put another 3 in today with all the stuff we're doing. So typically anywhere's around between 12 and 14 cords of wood go in the kiln.
All right, well, we're going to take a closer look at Fat Bastard, and here's Bruce Finkley.
Thanks, y'all. I'm up here at the top of Fat Bastard with Chris Greenman. Chris, it is really, really hot up here. Can you describe a little bit about what the viewers can see from this angle?
In the background, you might be catching a little bit of the exit flue through here, and you're catching the side ports, and they just did a side port loading. So you're seeing a lot of flame and smoke coming from the side ports. And in about 10 minutes, they'll be ready to go again with the side ports.
So they regularly do that about every 10 minutes or so?
Right.
And about how much wood do they put in each time they reload like that?
We're putting about 5 of these in each port. We're doing 3 at a time, so 3 at the top and then 3 up down near the firebox.
And about how hot do you think it is in there right now?
I'm thinking the firebox is probably around 2400, and probably back here it's a little bit cooler, although we're probably starting to even it out a little bit more.
Okay, well, Chris, thank you so much. Now let's head back down to the bottom of the Bastard with Megan and Tamika.
Here's the front of the firebox where the main stoke hole is. Now that we've talked about how much wood it takes to keep the kiln going, let's take a look at how the firing has been going this week and see some of the wood that has been placed inside of the kiln.
Day one. This is 24 hours, and we're right at 1600 degrees Fahrenheit. We've moved through kind of the danger zone of the pots cracking or the pots bloating, and from here forward, from 1600 up to as the cone's bending, it's just a balance now of fuel and fire.
Have there been any problems or anything? Anything unusual?
No problems to date. It's gone really smoothly so far. It's been very nice.
Side stoke. 4, Big.
Oh, 6.
Another big.
7.
Another big.
8. One more. 9.
Okay.
You're good. You're way good.
That's good. Wait, I got a feeling the door is, this brick is starting to move.
Yeah,
the door.
yeah. Let's let it die down and we'll.
Now that's a shot. Oh my goodness. The one on the other side, on the right side, is really.
Can y'all see inside there with your camera?
But
I was gonna say, I don't think I can either. It's too bright.
at dark, when it's dark you can, but I don't know in daylight.
I got a really high, the high shutter speed, so I know it's not that.
I can see them.
Well, we vented a temperature that we wanted in the firebox, and then we're hitting a little bit of a snag. You know, sometimes it chokes, and so it's been choking a little bit. We lost a little temperature, so now we're building it back up. This is the air hole intake for the firebox. So what I'd like to see is a little bit more brilliance among those coals. It's supposed to look like diamonds. You can see it a little bit right there. I mean, that's starting to look better. But when it really is a healthy coal bed, it looks like little sparkling diamonds. And that indicates to me the right mix of fuel and oxygen. And if you get too much unburned fuel coming down, sneaking in there, it blocks the airflow and it inhibits the temperature rise.
If you come at this angle where I am right now, I can see a hot straight right there, and there's no flames. But from your angle, it's like a lot.
We've been down in the firebox like 3 or 4 hours ago, and we've tried to maintain the temperature or get the temperature back up in the firebox to 23, and so we're there. I mean, we're where we want it, and we're pretty hot in the back. We're 2050 in the middle of the kiln, and 1850, 1900 in the back, and yeah, lots of drippy ash in the front on pieces. So we're looking good.
Any problems or anything?
Just we seem to find that just through different people stoking or the wood we're using, or I think mainly probably stoking in the side ports, we're bringing the temperature down in the front. So then we got to stoke in the front again and leave the side ports alone. But right now we've got nice good heat in the middle and the back, so we're in good shape.
Right now, we're side stoking a bit just to keep it at temperature in the back, and we're trying to do that, and we're trying to keep it stable. And we're not trying to get too hot in the front, and we're using mostly pine and a couple of pieces of hardwood. Right now, it's about 1900 in the back and 2350 in the front. And we're trying to keep it that way so the pots don't melt off the shelves.
Got here about 4:45. We're pretty sleepy, but it's fun. We're glad to be here. Anything else? But I'm the kiln bandit this time of day. This is required gear because it's so hot that you'll burn your face off. And the oxygen is too hot to breathe, so you have to filter it a little bit. And so this is the uniform. This is how we do our face when we stoke the kiln. This is the Kiln Diva reporting live. It's 6 a.m. Yep, 6 a.m. And we've been here for about an hour and a half. And yeah, it's pretty nice outside, but the kiln's hot. It's real hot. Anyway, just wanted to let you know. Anything else? Extremely smart. You know how smart she is? I admire her. She's an artist making a living off of her art, and she just graduated. And I'm just so excited for that because it gives me hope for the future. My future. You're sweet, Teresa. So much better with this thing on. Oh my gosh. That's bigger. You don't even know. Bigger. Oh. No, my bad. Mom? Under that side. Hi, Mom! Hey, Mom!
From the Kiln Ninja.
5 to 9 a.m. shift. A-team.
And the Kiln Bandit. And the Kiln Diva.
That's right. Mother Teresa Trucker. And goodbye. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
What we're doing is letting this firebox burn down so we can take an optical reading. We have an optical pyrometer that will, calibrates. It equates heat with lightness in the kiln. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to try to get as many ashes on as many pieces as we can by taking a long, thin shovel and just flicking ashes everywhere. So then we're going to stoke again. So right now we're doing side stoking and firebox stoking to try to modulate the heat and to build a coal bed in the back of the kiln. And it's tricky because sometimes the temperature goes down when you do that. You'd think it would go up, and that's not always the case. So it looks good right now. It looks like we're achieving what we wanted to do. So.
Well, how have things been going? Any problems or anything over the firing?
Almost problem-free. We had a little glitch sometimes when you're going up. It sort of hiccups a little bit, and so we were up at temperature in the firebox. We were at 23, and next thing you know, we were at 1850, which is a kind of a severe drop. Nothing broke as a result or whatever, but we had to drive it back up. Sometimes it chokes, it needs oxygen, so the little holes that you see there, the primary air holes, sometimes get clogged up, and it'll drop fairly rapidly.
Now we want you to notice how the wood is getting smaller and smaller as the kiln progresses. Now be sure to tune in for our final show next Saturday at 12 noon. We will watch as the artists pull their pieces from the kiln, and don't forget to email us any of your questions at kilncast@montevallo.edu, and we'll read them live on the air. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to the Fat Bastard. Remember, we'll be here next Saturday at the kiln to see what the firing has done to all the pieces of the pottery that's inside. It will be an exciting show that you do not want to miss. Dr. Meyer, we're very excited to be doing this live webcast of the firing. We understand that we have viewers from around the U.S. and other countries. Can you tell us about the importance of the virtual community?
Yeah, I mean, I think that these firings are pretty rare and sometimes inaccessible to most people. And so one thing we're trying to do, it is a campus, it's a university, and it's about education. And so one thing we're trying to do is extend the community of wood fires, you know, perhaps people that would be interested that might not. I know it's going to one high school classroom, and those are the next generation of wood fires potentially. So we're really excited to be able to do this.
And can you tell me anything that's unusual that may have happened during this firing?
You know, blessedly, no. It really, you know, I'm a little superstitious while it's still going on. You know, talking about a ball game in progress is a little, you know, pushing your luck. But it's been great. We've had terrific participation by everyone. The people that I shouted to that were in School for American Crafts in New York State are now here up on the scaffolding helping. And so, you know, it's just really, we've hit all our shifts well. The temperature's been terrific, and it's stayed that way for about 2 days. And that's what's going to allow us to do some of these things now in the firebox that we're not, we wouldn't be otherwise able to do. So we're pretty excited about it.
And can you tell us about the fire indicators?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see one of them in a minute. I'm going to show you how we take temperatures. We have 3 different ways to tell the temperatures, aside from just experience. And most people that have fired them a lot can look in there and pretty much tell what you've got. But it's always nice to see the numbers backing up your opinion. And we are fortunate to have a thermal probe that's light sensitive, and so it can be done outside the kiln, and so it's not subject to some of the tough things that happen to probes after 3 days of being bombarded with heat. So this is, you know, a kind of a high-tech device that we're fortunate to have, and so I'm going to show you how to use it in a minute.
All right. And can you tell us how hot the fire got in certain parts of the kiln?
Yeah, right now we're about 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit throughout, which is really great. It's hard to spread the heat front to back because it is the chamber that's 23 feet long. And so now we're just about even front to back, which is pretty nice. That's what we want to have. We've gotten as hot as 24 in the firebox. And, you know, last night, my last call to the kiln from home was cautioning, you know, don't get too hot, because you get too hot and you start fusing pieces, melting shells. And, we want to make sure we're firing our work, not the kiln, you know.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Meyer.
Sure. Thanks.
About what? The piece I... Oh, Dr. Meyer, could you talk about the piece you brought?
Yeah. This piece was part of the February firing, the last firing we did, and we've been experimenting with a Japanese technique where we pull pieces off of the shelves into the coal bed onto a bed of charcoal, and so it's store-bought charcoal that we sprinkle in and amongst the coal bed that's naturally generated by the process. And the result is, you know, I can see a lot of viewers saying, wow, that's really dark. There's a lot of nuance, a lot of colors, and a lot of texture shifts in the piece that we really like. And so this is part of what we want to have happen this time. So last time I pulled this piece off of a shelf into the coal bed. It's very risky. You know, you might break the piece. The piece has to be pretty stout. And so this time we're going to sprinkle some charcoal on the pieces and maybe knock a few smaller pieces into the coal bed. So we're going to do that right now.
Thank you. can't hear what she's saying. Yeah, I mean, go ahead if you need.
When are we going to do it? Because I let it burn down.
I'm here at the University of Montevallo to find out exactly why so many people have called this their college home. And I don't think you've ever seen anything quite like this.
The close-knit campus.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us here at Fat Bastard. Now we're going to watch some of the stoking process.
That's okay. That's good. That's, oh, forget about that. Okay. It's all right. You're good. It's good. One more. That's good. Good job. Yeah. How'd that happen? Okay. How are we doing out there? Do you see the see any flame or? Excellent. Okay. No, it'll eat it up. But our next opportunity is going to be another 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. We're fine. Everything's, yeah. I mean, it's so friggin' hot. You can't really. I know. Well, I mean, you know, they said 20 after I hit it, so that's all you can do.
Thank God. I'm really glad.
Good job, guys, holding it up there. I mean, that was good. It's not like you don't do that, you know. I mean, you do. There's times when Callis will forget about the firebox for a half hour and just stoke the sides. So, a day late, but I talked to him. He's cool. He's fine. That's what he said. A day later than the dollar short. He's like, I said, well, are you cool with the? He's asking us if it's okay if I can store his pieces to the next firing. I'm like, Pete, I'm gonna spend that long looking at them, you know. I mean, they're nice. They're really nice. I can see why he wants to fire them again, but they're really crusty and, yeah, just complexity like that. I mean, that's a lucky one. You know. Thank you. No, I'd love it if you. Well, once you're ready to, you know. I mean, when you leave, just yeah, that would be great. The guys are getting into it from RIT. Yeah, great. They're having a blast. That's great. I'm hoping, because, yeah, they're there for one more year. But that would be the team you'd want to do it with, because they all just, it's really tight. I know. Then they know the end game, because they'd also have to be there to. They'd also fire the first one. You know. I'm thinking of, you know, I'm going to try if that happens. I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but bring the band up there to do the first one up there. You know, because we're going to need, you know. Yes. Well, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Meyer, what exactly is going on right now?
Okay, right now we have these little windows that we can do the firebox trickery that we discussed, and the coal bed has to be almost all just embers, because doing the process, I need access to the work. I got to see through the flame, all that sort of thing. So we had one of those windows, and it's so hard, all of us coordinating this. So, I tried to hit 20 after 12. We hit it. And, the production went a different way, which is fine. Our next window is probably going to be about 10 minutes from now. And, all of the things, when the logs get introduced to the firebox, they have form, they have weight and all of that. So it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to turn into embers so that we can toss them all over the work. And so we're waiting for that to happen. And in the meantime, they're stoking the sides, trying to keep the heat up. And it's not that different. It's not that big a deal. It's not that different from what potters do naturally. They sometimes leave the firebox for as much as an hour just to stoke the sides if they're too hot in the firebox. We have so much heat now, we can pretty much do what we want to with it.
Okay. So how hot should it stay? Like how hot does
We're
it need
trying
to
to
be?
keep 2350 is ideal to me in the firebox. Some people some artists go hotter than that. I like the coloration and the texture at that temperature, so I want to keep it there. I want it consistently that front to back, and so we're pretty close to that. The back's a little low, but that's what we want. If it was all at temperature now, we'd run the risk of overfiring it by the end of the day. We're going to go to about 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon before we shut it down.
So do you stoke every 10 minutes or just how?
Looks like we're about on a 10-minute cycle now. That's slow. It's ironic because it kind of slows down. All these bricks have been absorbing heat for 4 days. Now they're ready to radiate heat. So it's sort of like a sponge absorbing water. There's a point where the water, won't, you reach saturation, in other words. And so we've done that with heat with the bricks. So everything's radiating heat. That's why we could take such a long time between stokes.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer.
You're welcome.
Now we'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back to the University of Montevallo. We received some viewer mail from Judith Amanda, and her question was, can you describe a little about the coats, leg covers, or masks worn during the process? I noticed beyond the sunglasses and bandana, there was more than some of the group that is wearing. I learned from working in scenic art that there are measures required to protect yourself.
Well, you're absolutely right. Basically, we're wearing fire suits, so these are, you know, at the grace of the local fire department that, you know, upgraded. So we got the, you know, the used ones, which are perfectly functional and good. If you were there in the previous broadcast, obviously when we started it, you know, we didn't need as much on, and now I've got, you know, leather covers over my forearms. Underneath this, you know, obviously we got leather gloves. Depends on the job we're doing. I mean, when I go and do the firebox trickery, I'm going to have a lot on. You know, I'm going to have the face guard. A lot of the stuff's supplied by, you know, high heat industry like furnaces that we use.
And Teresa, would you like to add anything?
Well, at first the leather is sufficient, but at these temperatures you really need that proximity suit. There's just nothing like that to keep the heat off of you. Of course you get hot underneath. If you look at Scott, you can tell that.
Yeah, look at me. Hot.
All right, well, thank you both.
Yeah, that's great. I want them to keep it up while we're waiting for these to change to hammers.
What you're seeing right now is fire stoking. I'm sorry, side stoking.
I'm going to just raise the door, I think, when I'm ready to do something new. Right now, I'm just going to bust them up a little bit so they're not so chunky.
I can't hear her that well either. I can't either. Really, I can't. The whole side. I think I'm going. This is gonna be the worst one we've done so far. I don't see any. Okay. It really is. I think it's coming back to Bruce, who got the artist that traveled. I remember them saying to get him, or him to get them.
Oh, that is a tired person.
I remember them saying, Bruce, go get the travelers. So.
You're watching the side stoking. They are coordinating their efforts, each team on each side opening the same ports so that they can load the wood. Some of the ports they're able to open with the long metal rod that you see. Other ones just have fire-resistant material packed around a brick or two that they just shove in the port. And they have to be very careful to remain synchronized, because if one port is closed before the other one is, the flames could shoot out of the other side. We actually saw that happen a little bit earlier. The fire almost got out of control, and there you can see the flames just shooting out of the kiln. It's incredibly hot up here. Even with the fire gear, you still feel the heat, and it's just incredibly hot. Right now, they believe that the inside of the kiln is around 2,300 degrees. And we were speaking with Dr. Meyer earlier this week, and he said that the top temperature is about 2,400. So they're very close. And they do this about every 10 minutes. They go down, opening the ports and throwing in 5 or 6 pieces of wood in each opening to evenly distribute the flame and the fire and the heat inside of the kiln, so that all of the pieces, whether they're in the front, in the middle, or in the back, are all at the same temperature, and it's a constant temperature, and that's why they do it every 10 minutes. And at the beginning of the burn, or of the firing, there were just stacks and stacks of wood all along the kiln, and now that they're almost done, most of it is gone, and it's just incredibly hot up here, and you can see they're going down to take a much-deserved break. And we are at the top of the kiln. There you see some of the flames shooting out from around the ports. We were speaking with them earlier about exactly when they know to add more wood, and they said when the flame gets sucked back in, they know that it's time to add more wood into the kiln. You're watching Kilncast here at the University of Montevallo's Anagama Kiln, known as Fat Bastard. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
I'm here at the University of Montevallo to find out exactly why so many people have called this their college home. And I don't think you've ever seen anything quite like this.
A close-knit campus.
Atmosphere here.
I wanted to play soccer.
I really enjoy all the teachers. I've got to meet them.
Best elementary education program.
I, as well as thousands of others, have made this our home. Will you?
Welcome back. Now, we're about to watch Dr. Scott put some ashes in the kiln.
That's right. We got a lot of things to do in a little compressed amount of time, because I want to not take a whole lot of time in between stoking. When you do, that you risk the temperature going down. We don't want that. So we're gonna I'm gonna get in there with a long scoop and try to get ashes everywhere in the firebox, and maybe even past it if I do a good job. Then we'll probably take a temperature reading with the device we were talking about before. And, then we're going to put charcoal on the pieces, pull some pieces off, and then stoke. And we're going to try to do that, like NASCAR changes tires.
Okay, we're sure you'll do a great job. Okay, I guess we'll take a look at it.
Okay. All right. little low, 22:20, which makes sense. It's okay. I'm gonna do the charcoal next. You wanna load me up with that? You wanna run the handles toward the kiln. There you go. No, I mean even with it. There you go. All right, I'm going to do the other side, Teresa. One more. Get the hook stick ready. Good. Whoa! Don't want to lose my head. Now, can't get it on this one. It's all right. Yeah, maybe we'll try one more. Let me, there. I'm okay. Let's go on this side. There we go. Now let's get ready to stoke. We'll aim with a bamboo. Oh, excuse me. It's all right. Hand them to me. Yeah. That's all right. Where's my They're doing that. They're running the whole table. Get ready, they're closing. Okay. Ready? Let's load it up with these. We got to get temp back.
Yeah, you need lots of these.
Yeah. That's okay. That's enough of that. Good job. Woo.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We're here with Dr. Greenman, and could you tell us a little bit about what's going on inside the firebox and the placement of the wood?
Well, inside the firebox, it's quite hot right now. They just we just took a reading about 5 minutes ago, and it was a little bit low. It was 2220, and then we did our firebox tricks with the charcoal, and now we're trying to get the temperature back up. So we loaded a lot of kiln drying pine and a lot of other pine. So the firebox is pretty full, and we got a really good stoke. So we're getting flame out of the side ports and a lot of probably flame out of the chimney.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We're going to go to break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back here to the kiln. We're here with Dr. Scott Meyer and
what's left of him.
Could you explain a little bit about the pull rings?
Yeah, we've got some rings made out of clay, the same stuff we have in the kiln as pots and sculpture. And it's an ancient technique to find out how the firing is going. You pull them out of the kiln. They're just waste pieces. They're just rings. And you pull them out and check the melt on them, check the surface, and see whether you got enough. So we've got 2 in the bag if they're still there, with all the tumbling and all in the kiln. And we're going to try and see whether we can pull them. We can't do it right now because they just side stoked. And so you'd be looking right into the gates of hell right now. But in about, 5 minutes probably. We also have a bamboo bomb, if you would like.
Yeah,
and a
could you tell us?
bomb is this, which is a sealed segment, obviously naturally, with the nature of the bamboo. It's moist, obviously it's green. We put it in under the coal bed, and it has the same effect as tossing the ash all over the place, which is what I just did. It's also kind of fun, you know. Sometimes they're fizzles, and that would be awful if that happened on your Comcast, but occasionally they don't go off. But the moisture in there and the gases build up and pop, and it throws things all over the place.
Okay, and could you demonstrate the bamboo bomb in the fire?
Yeah. Teresa, you want to put a bamboo bomb in there? I got one in. You got one in? Got one that's being stubborn. Here we go.
That's what I do. You put this right in the coals.
And then shove them in there before they explode. Quickly. Yeah.
Not like that.
What about the other one? What's going on there?
It's just going to burn because it's not underneath it.
Okay. They go under the coal bed, and then with any luck at all, they're gonna pop in about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, if they're alive. And it's just another way. It's a little fun thing we do, but it's another way of probably less effective way actually of throwing the ash all over the pots, which is what I did with the shovel. So it looks like organized mayhem, which is pretty much what it is. But you're trying to do as many things as possible in a short amount of time, and so I think we did a pretty good job. We knocked a bunch of things into the coal bed and piled coals all over pieces. And so hopefully we'll have that effect that I showed you before. So, all right, Teresa.
Hi, Captain.
This is not an ad for bamboo bombs. It went? Hey! Yeah, I hope so. I was going to say that's the last time we buy these wholesale, but the other one is taking its time, and well.
Okay, and could you show us the pull ring?
Yeah, if we have a clean space, we have a lot of flame there, but we'll try. Let's see. Somebody want to get up there with the hook? I got the hook. No, just the long thing that we extend the door with. I got the hook up there. We're just going to open the door. Oh, there's a lot of flame. It's going to have to die down a lot.
It's up there.
Looks like it.
Hey, there goes the other one.
This one, Scott?
Oh, God.
No, I got it right here. Thank you, though.
Okay.
I saw that one earlier.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
I'm going. Okay.
It went down again. That's not cool.
Hey, Bruce.
You want to pull it? You want me to pull it up? Or?
Down there. I don't want to open the door. I'm scared that Saturday is going to opening the door.
Well, if you, Iman, you want to grab that side of their wire, and I'll grab this side. Just pull it up. There you go. There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh, my nose itches. Alright, so we open the last door?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of flame here. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of atmosphere right now. I mean, it's getting a little less. I don't know what your time is like, but.
You did a good job on the side switch.
It's going to town here. I might be able to, sometimes when you open it up and you can get through the flames with it, but. Are
there any cones left over there, or are they still standing?
They're mangled. They look like arthritic fingers. Yeah. They're like. Yeah, the cones traditionally, when they melt, they obey the flow of the flame more than they do gravity. So you get all kinds of strange configurations. Cones being the things that we put in that melt at known temperatures, and it's a way, other than the optical pyrometer that I showed, to tell the temperature of the kiln. And so oftentimes in a wood firing, especially one that's this violent, either they get knocked off, hopefully not. But they also tend to just obey this intense, current that's in the kiln. And they seem to have done that in the back. They usually do. It's dying down a little bit. TV productions live and Anagama firings. I mean, it's heroic what these people are trying to do to capture as much of this as you can. But obviously, it's a process. It's hard to choreograph and predict with that kind of accuracy. So it looks like it's dying down a little bit. Good thing you have the helmet on. Hang on. All right, the pull rings are that way, so yeah, that'd be, they're over there, so where you are now is good. All right, let's see whether we have anything I can see through. Woof. Not yet, yeah.
All we were able to see was just a bunch of flame. We weren't even able to see the rings.
I mean, that gives you an idea of how violent it is, you know, and that's why those things melt at really weird angles, because they're actually traditional teapot makers that make their spouts purposefully off with the idea that the current of the flame corrects them and puts them even. If they're even in the beginning, they have a weird little twist to them at the end of the firing. So they can actually throw them purposefully facing the firebox and then have them, you know, even out in the kiln.
And I think what you're seeing now is we have some video of the cones that, Dr. Meyer, that you're talking about that were placed in the kiln before the firing. I believe we're showing that now. What are the, you talked about they're made out of things that you know melt at known temperatures. What are some of them made out of?
The cones are made out of something akin to the glaze that would be on the surface of a pot. And they put a little more flux in the ones, therefore there's more melt, as I understand it, in the ones that are lower in temperature. And then, of course, they know that because they test that substance and they know what temperature they curl over and melt at. And, so we know what temperature they become active at, and therefore we can look into the kiln and see when we're at a certain temperature, theoretically. But in a firing like this, you know, it's a little hard. It looks like it's clearing a little bit, so. Yep. Here are the cones. Boy, it's hard to. I think that they have taken a dive down. That's bad TV, but that's Anagama Firing. They took a nosedive, and so we're not able to pull them out. They are about 3 feet down in the coal bed right now. So sorry about that. At least it's not pots down there.
Well, Dr. Meyer, we want to thank you for being here with us, helping us document the Anagama firing again. And, well, that's it for today's show. We want to remind you that you can log back on next Saturday at 12 noon Central Time, which is when y'all will be unloading the kiln.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we have a full day on that day just to shovel our way in. It looks a little like it's half Christmas morning, half Pompeii.
Well, we hope that you have enjoyed today's show, and we hope that you are able to log back on next Saturday. Again, that's at 12 noon Central Time for the unloading of the University of Montevallo's Anagama kiln, the Fat Bastard, which is right now very hot, about 2,200 degrees inside and not much cooler outside. This is Bruce Finkley at the top of Fat Bastard, hoping that you have a good afternoon and that we see you again next Saturday at 12 noon Central.